Everyone loves the idea of running a small business, right? Turning your passion into a real profession, being your own boss. But the day-to-day reality, it's often less about that dream and way more about just trying to keep the lights on. It can be a total grind. So how does some businesses manage to break out of that survival mode? That's what we're going to dig into.
And it's a grind that a lot of people are in. I mean, get this, over 99% of all businesses in the United States are technically small businesses. They are quite literally the backbone of the entire economy.
Which brings us to the big question, doesn't it? What's the secret sauce? What really separates the businesses that are just constantly treading water from the ones that are actually built to thrive and scale up?
To get to the bottom of that, we're going to dive into a really detailed case study. It's about one particular small business that had, all the right ingredients for success, but was still just spinning its wheels.
So let's meet NK. It's a family-run business in the natural hair care world, and these guys are the real deal. Super passionate, they know their stuff inside and out, and they are completely obsessed with making top-quality products. Their whole specialty is creating products for clients with locks. That's a hairstyle that needs really specific care, and you guessed it, high-quality natural ingredients. The owner is a total expert in this. So on the surface, everything looks pretty amazing. They've got a fantastic product that people absolutely love, and they've even managed to build a customer base all around the world. But despite all that, they were really struggling to find any kind of real sustainable growth. The big question is, why?
To figure that out, some researchers basically did a deep dive, kind of like a performance checkup on a car. They wanted to pop the hood and see what was really going on inside the business.
And this SWOT analysis here is so telling. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, under strengths, you see exactly what you'd expect. Awesome products, a super knowledgeable team. But then you glance over at the weaknesses and oof, financial barriers, issues with inventory, a really poor social media game. These weaknesses were basically canceling out their biggest strengths.
And it wasn't because they didn't have a vision. The leadership team had crystal clear goals. They were focused on three main things: keeping that quality super high and consistent, making the brand more visible and respected, and making sure their products were accessible to the people who needed them.
So, okay, they had a plan. They knew what they were trying to do. But was any of it actually moving the needle? Well, let's take a look at the data and see what the story is.
And right here is where you can see the cracks really starting to show. Let's look at the left image first, customer satisfaction. On Google and Facebook, things look pretty good, mostly positive reviews. But then you look at Yelp, and it's a totally different universe. Almost half of all their reviews are just 1 star. That's a massive red flag. Now shift your eyes to the right to their social media. After a pretty strong 2021 where they were posting a lot and getting people engaged, it's like they fell off a cliff. Posts, views, likes, everything just nosedived. The numbers are telling us something is seriously wrong here.
So when you put all this together, what you have is a business that's working really, really hard, but it's completely stuck. It's like they're on a hamster wheel, running as fast as they can, but not actually going anywhere.
So what was the actual issue? I mean, why was a business with such a great product and passionate people just unable to grow? Well, the study found one core fundamental problem underneath it all.
And this slide just says it all. The root cause was a total lack of systems. There was no real process for handling complaints, which probably explains those terrible Yelp reviews. No systematic way to track if they're hitting their goals. No structured plan for bringing on new people. And maybe the biggest problem of all, everything, and I mean everything, relied on the owner. She was the bottleneck for every single important function.
This whole situation is a perfect example of a business concept called single loop versus double loop learning. So, single loop learning is all about fixing the immediate problem, the symptom. It's about asking, are we doing things right? Double loop learning, though, goes way deeper. It's about fixing the entire system that's causing the problems. It asks a much bigger question. Are we doing the right things? It makes you question everything.
And the lead researcher on this, Dr. Julie Charette, she connected this idea directly to NK. She pointed out that their constant focus on just getting through the day, the week, it was trapping them in that reactive, single-loop cycle.
So, there's your diagnosis. NK wasn't struggling because of its product or its passion. It was stuck because it was living in a single loop, constantly running around putting out little fires instead of taking a step back to build a fireproof system for the whole business. But hey, identifying the problem is only half the battle, right? The good news is the study also laid out a really clear prescription for growth,
a path for NK and any business like it to finally break out of that cycle.
Here are the 4 key steps. First, track everything. You just can't improve what you don't measure. That means setting up a simple dashboard to see how you're doing on those big strategic goals. Second, systematize your feedback. Don't just wait for an angry Yelp review to pop up. Go out and get customer data with things like surveys. Third, get financially fluent. This is more than just taxes. It means using real accounting software to understand your money, revenue, costs, inventory. That way, you're making decisions based on data, not just a gut feeling. And finally, number 4, plan for the future. The business cannot depend on one person forever. You need a formal plan to pass on knowledge and prepare for what's next.
And let's be really clear here. This is not about just piling more tasks onto an already crazy to-do list. This is about a complete shift in how you think. It's about building a real foundation. It's that jump from just working in the business to actually working on the business. That's the leap from single loop to double loop thinking.
So the question I want to leave you with is this one. Take a good, hard look at your own business, or maybe even a project you're working on. Is it designed just to run day-to-day, constantly putting out fires? Or is it actually built to grow, with systems in place that can handle success? Because honestly, the answer to that question makes all the difference in the world.